Okay, we got another early game round. And this is RadioRad versus Panbud. And RadioRad has decided to torment me with Schezo activities. But I will say, like, every time... Okay, RadioRad's actually building way faster than I remember him building. We'll get there. But... I was gonna say, every single, Carbuncle's Corner, I check to see if Panbud has properly put pronouns on their, Battlefy. And this week, the pronouns were pro and noun. So, I'm just gonna she, her, you idiot. And Panbud takes the first round. Yeah, I am one of those non-binaries. Oh, wow. A second one. Both of them fucked it up. It's funny. But, whatever. Oh, a little close to the mic there. I'm one of those non-binaries who's a classic they-themer. And it's like, you can't know that until you ask me, which is why we ask. I don't know if you're who you are. You're a person on the internet to me. That was a nice response. Very rad, very adaptable in terms of playstyle. See, RadioRad is slowing way down here. That's the speed that I'm more used to. I was like, this is a little too fast for yeah. So, I think if you're being silly about your pronouns, I'm so serious. Like, I'm so dead ass. If you're gonna be silly about your pronouns, I'm gonna pull out my 2010s feminism and use she, her as if it were gender neutral. So, get she, her, idiot. Okay, so that's a very odd looking 4 chain. The little excess reds in columns 3, 4, and 5 is gonna lessen the power of that 6 chain, but it's still gonna be enough to take the game from Panbud. RadioRad playing pretty strong. I guess that's the one thing about Schezo, is that it gives all of his stands a lot of confidence. Even though they're ruining my life. I can't believe they would do this to me by getting up to Schezo activities. Also, I had a thought. You know how, like, Puyo Puyo Champions has, like, a larger, file size than Puyo Puyo Tetris 2? It's probably because Puyo Puyo Champions has a bunch of Puyo Puyo Tetris 1 data in it. Okay, he sends an 8 chain, Panbud sends, kind of a sexy 9. Okay, girl, go off. Not enough to fully kill, though. So, there's still an ounce here, but RadioRad's gonna really have to hustle for it. And these 1 chains aren't gonna be enough to stop this onslaught, this horrifying activity. But the longer that Panbud keeps up this flexing, the more likely it is to fold. So, she just goes ahead and sets it off. And that's gonna take the game. RadioRad not having enough space to be able to respond to a chain that long. That's my, yeah, I think it's like, Puyo Puyo Champions just has like a bunch of Puyo Puyo Tetris data on the disc. That's just deactivated. Or maybe it's like, it just uses, because it definitely uses like the same menus and stuff, which I didn't like notice until, because I didn't have Puyo Puyo Tetris 1 for a very long time. So RadioRad's just going to set off that chain. RadioRad kind of extending for a long time, not really having like the blues to extend. That powered up 8 chain from Panbud. Gonna do a lot of damage, and then the 2 rocks. RadioRad not powering up his 8 chain. Enough to counteract that damage. Now, I'm not sure what's going on with that base, but that would make a great, like, conversion into an attack. Especially because Panbud's chain was so freaking weird. But I guess those reds power up, so it works out either way.
What happened?
The day is mine.
Both players just kind of building uninhibited. Panbud's chain open by a yellow. GTR is not finished and already working on the transition. Okay, finishes up the GTR. Purples. A bit of a purple conflict. Lots of purples there, and then a yellow drought. Really wants that purple on the top there. Was kind of hoping for a bit more of a tail, having those purples open. That chain not going to be enough to counteract RadioRad's chain. So she's just going to take that damage, and RadioRad is going to take a 4th game. Both players kind of evenly against, you know. I'm sensing a bit of evenness between the matchup. There's similar speed at which the chains are being built. Similar kinds of building mistakes. RadioRad setting off kind of early. Wondering what the goal is here. Powered up 5. Is gonna offset most of that damage. RadioRad, quick follow-up with a 3. Panbud responds with a power-up 2. Okay, see RadioRad fishing for those blues to set off a 3, a 4. Not a particularly long chain. Panbud having that powered up 4, that power on the 4 is really all it takes to get the damage to kill.
That all you got?
I heard the fusion music in Puyo Tetris 1 is like better. Is the fusion music... Actually, I don't remember what the fusion music is. Like what specifically it would be. I do know for a fact that now RadioRad's tail tails. Except for when he uses the greens of the tail to extend on the front end. Which isn't necessarily cutting a link. But now that damage is blocking off the freaking greens, he's gonna need to open it up. but that gets the extension with the yellow. Unfortunately, those blues end up popping. But even the blues popping is enough to get that. That's interesting. Is the amount of resources that he's got on the board. No, that's not gonna pop into anything. He's gonna need more stuff than that. And I feel like I have no clue how powerful RadioRad's freestyling is. And sometimes it's just like he's gonna pop something and he sees a chain, but it's not quite there, and it's like I would see why you would see that, but that's not what that is. Sorry, I'm just kind of. Oh no, I can't say sorry. I'm just kind of yapping because yapping is my job. That's what I'm here. Okay. No horribly unlucky garbage drops. Could have extended with those yellows. But had to really think on his feet for that one, and I can see why that would not be, you know, like why that didn't come in the way that he wanted it to. So Panbud just being more open, having more Puyos on the board, more space to move around with. And generally, I'm going to go ahead and say a slightly better freestyling form takes that. Pulls ahead into the lead. Pretty sure it was an early lead. A little bit of a color conflict from RadioRad. Now, RadioRad's got to be sure to not have anything fall and cut those greens like that green on top of column 3. Column 3, speaking of which, getting pretty high. Early attack would definitely take it. Panbud opts to set off her main chain instead. Doesn't go for a harassment chain or anything, and RadioRad ends up getting the longer chain. So now players are kind of in the mid game. And we want to see these players build up some chains to be able to disrupt each other. Now, RadioRad's got a sandwich form here, kind of. And she converts the other way around into a stairs, 3 chain. So we want to see RadioRad kind of build up these chains a little more because Panbud is the type of player who likes big chains, big chains. And so here comes a 5? No, it's a 4. Both players send a 4. And with a minute and 44 on the clock, these smaller attacks are going to start becoming a lot more consequential. And so, yeah, Panbud's gonna take that next game, kind of create a gap. So, and it's gonna be match point for her too. So if RadioRad really wants to take this, he's gonna have to lock in. I want to say that there were enough colors for an all-clear start, but both players missed it. But I kind of really can't tell from here, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just tired. You can hear how tired I sound, right? RadioRad's just opting to set off that main chain. Panbud, okay, needing one more yellow in order to set off that main chain, gets the yellow. If you noticed, Panbud has been taking a lot of the wins from just playing the late game a little bit more effectively. But in this case, Panbud simply has a longer chain, so she's going to take that last game and progress on to the next round, knocking RadioRad into losers. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you don't want to get she heard by Dusty, put your real pronouns in your bio, please. 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 Thank you.